From retro to next gen, we've got it all. I'm George, a Gen X grown-up, and this is Bit by Bit. All right, here's a quick bit from Monster Vine. Rita's Rewind is getting some collector edition physical releases coming out on May the 30th, both for the Nintendo Switch and the PlayStation 5. They got some visuals here so you can check out the stuff. Like, this is the PS5 stuff. We got the poster, the steelbook, lenticular postcards, some stuff that looks pretty cool. Nintendo Switch has got basically the same thing, just got the Nintendo box and game box with it, so it's basically all the same. These are going to cost $35 for the standard or $50 for the collector's edition. Now, I have avoided talking about the Rita's Rewind stuff here on Bit by Bit because it's not really part of my era, but I know there's a lot of people out there who have been looking forward to this game, been playing it, and it's real popular. I'm just wondering what you guys think. Would you pay $50 for this collector's edition steelbook stuff? All right, here's a David versus Goliath bit over on IGM.com. Wizardry recently won the Grammy for Best Soundtrack in a Video Game over some other big titles. I mean, I did not see this coming. I don't watch the Grammy, so I didn't know this when it happened at the beginning of February, but I thought it was interesting to talk a little bit about here in Bit by Bit. They were really surprised by this win. I guess there was a whole bunch of other super heavy competition that was expected to be out there. Marvel's Spider-Man 2, I guess, was in there. Star Wars Outlaws was also in the category this year. And you could see the shock that the lady who did the composition has for winning this award. But good for her and good for Wizardry. Good for all of us who love those old games. I mean, Wizardry is obviously a game steeped in a lot of lore. I'm assuming this is a sequel in that series. But, you know, hey, I'm always glad to see the little guy come out on top. All right, here's a real cool history bit from TechSpot.com. The Video Game History Foundation has released a whole bunch of digital magazines on their website for research purposes. Now, I, for one, welcome this addition to their library, and I went over to take a look. This link here in the article will take you straight there. They have a whole bunch of game magazines. I think down here they even make a mention of it. Yeah, 367 issues of Game Informer. I saw like probably 15 different magazine titles, as well as other things like promotional material for video games, specific stuff like video game design sheets and stuff like that. It's really impressive what they've put out there, and they're going to continue to put more out. Of course, the main part of this article is not just about that, but also talking about how everybody is fighting to get legal access to some of the old video games that these magazines talk about. The article goes into that a little bit as well, but if you want a quick little 1-minute read that'll develop into probably a 20-hour research adventure, head over to techspot.com and check this article out. All right, here's a quick bit from Polygon. Reigniting a war that's over 50 years old between Intellivision and Atari. There was a book that was released back in November of 2024 called Intellivision, How a Video Game System Battled Atari and Almost Bankrupted Barbie. It comes from MIT Press, and this article is essentially just, hey, it's out there, and here's an excerpt from one of the chapters, and the rest of this article is just an excerpt because on MIT Press, you can go and look at these different pages, and that's kind of what they've done here on Polygon. I went and took a look. It's over on Amazon right now for $60. It's not a beautiful visual compendium type of book that you might think of when you're thinking of stuff like the Art of Atari or those kind of books, but it does have a lot of great history. There's a whole bunch of interview segments in it, over 150 interviews that the research people put into this book. It looks really awesome. It might be a super good read if you really want to dig in to what it was like between Atari and Intellivision back in the day. All right, here's a retro gaming bit from CBR. GOG has announced a new community wish list to help us bring back games for the PC. Now, you guys know that we've talked about it on Bit by Bit and Gen X Grown Up in the past. A lot of games out there before 2010 are just simply not available anymore to play legally anywhere. So GOG has been doing this whole preservation thing for about the last year now, trying to make sure that classic games have a legal way to be played. And this newest wish list called the Dream List is a new way to help vote for your favorite games. They did this was toward the end of the month when they announced it, end of January. So you might have to go back in your X posts to try and find it. But if you can't, here's a copy of it in the article. They've got the link on it to go and vote now for your favorite games. But they also have a cool little stories section that the article talks about right here, where you can share your experiences with the games, why it's been important to you, and that might help garner that game some more votes. They talk about some of the games that have been brought back already because of this initiative. Alpha Protocol, Blade Runner, one of my favorites, the Resident Evil trilogy. Most recently, Dino Crisis 1 and 2 have been brought back. There's a whole bunch of stuff that we need to do when it comes to retro game preservation, and GOG is really kind of the front runner and the leader. All their stuff is no DRM, which I love. So once you buy it, you own it forever. It's yours. You download the EXE, you have it forever. I love that. They give you a link also to the delisted games platform, which tracks games that have been removed from digital storefronts, like it says, that can't be played legally right now, and that list is up to 2,000 games. Obviously, it doesn't have everything before 2010, because then it would be like 20 or 30,000. But it's a really good article, and I hope it makes you think. If you really want to help preserve the games that you love from our generation up till now, head over to GOG, join this Dreams List platform, and start putting games out there that you love so they can collect some votes. All right, here's a bit that every Gen X gamer saw coming from the New York Times. PlayStation and its network were completely out for 24 hours over the weekend. They said they got it back. This was around Saturday at 7 p.m. I know I read some other articles of the stuff they lost. Of course, any online games they lost access to, but also apparently some offline games also lost access, as well as the availability of things like PlayStation Video and Netflix and YouTube, if that's what you were using your console for. Everybody was losing everything up until around 7 o'clock on Saturday evening, the 8th. And yeah, I think my favorite part of the article, though, is some kind of trollish posts that were made by some other companies over on X. First one up is Krispy Kreme, calling all gamers this PlayStation still works, and they were giving free glazed donuts for 2 hours on Saturday, quote, because sweet rewards don't need a server, end quote. That's awesome. My favorite one, though, is from GameStop, and they said basically, bet y'all want physical copies now, don't you? Ooh, I don't know how happy PlayStation is going to be selling their games at GameStop, but yeah, that's pretty damn funny. So if you were affected by the PlayStation outage, hopefully you're back playing again, but can't say we didn't warn you. That's going to do it for the news making headlines in the gaming world right now. I am George, and if you want to see more, hit that subscribe button, and I'll keep on bringing you the news bit by bit.